Rhonda Bell dreamt of a better financial future. She felt stuck working 2 jobs with irregular hours.
And I had to do both jobs to even have just enough. I remember one time when I was out of work, I just dug around my house for change and found $13.76 in change. And I was able to buy food for that week. I just really wanted a career. I wanted God to bless me with something stable.
When friends encouraged Rhonda to go into healthcare, she prayed about it. She believed God was leading her into that field, so she enrolled in a drawing blood for testing program. When she failed the first exams, she feared her career dream was over. She called the CBN Prayer Center for support.
She asked God to give me a technique. She was so detailed. And then at the end of the prayer, she said, I'm a retired nurse. God gave me the right person at the right time.
After that call, Rhonda graduated at the top of her class.
When I graduated, my teacher said I was the only one in the classroom with a technique that takes 20 years to get.
But financial security didn't come with a new career in the way she'd imagined. Driving to and from her clients cut into nearly 25% of her monthly earnings.
I realized I was making minimum wage. I questioned myself. Was this the right move? Did I actually hear from God?
For over a year, Rhonda worked 7 days a week and earned just enough to cover her rent and food.
I was buying off-brand food, cheap food, because that would last a couple of days. Beans and rice, that would stretch out.
Everything else went on a credit card.
And then my utilities, I was just putting Band-Aids on them. I wasn't paying them off. It was just enough. And then my credit cards was ran up to the max. And so I was in deep debt. And this is the career that's supposed to take me out the hole. But it's like I was just deeper in it. And I was like, this is not right. God, please help me. I felt like I was drowning.
Again, Rhonda turned to CBN for encouragement.
That CBN family app, that was my app. And I was able to see real stories. These weren't made up. These were real families, single people, just like me. And they were able to say, hey, I tithe. God turned my life around. He blessed me with a job. And then I start watching Gordon and talk about reciprocity.
Here are the words of Jesus from Luke chapter 6. We call it the law of reciprocity. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over, will be poured into your lap, for with the measure you use, it will be measured to you.
Rhonda says it was then that she made the most important decision in her life concerning money.
And I realized that I can't tip God like I've been tipping him. I do it whenever I feel like it. Or I go to church and put $2 in there. That's not being obedient. Once I start tithing, my life changed dramatically.
Soon, Rhonda was hired by a competitor that doubled her hourly rate, working 5 days a week instead of 7, and they covered her travel cost. Shortly after that, her pay increased again when she was promoted and put in charge of other technicians.
God gave me favor. My income increased about 60% after giving to the Lord, and I just praise God for it. But God opened that up because of my obedience.
Rhonda turned into a joyful giver by tithing, paying off all her credit cards, establishing a savings and monthly budget plan, and giving to CBN.
And I have money left over. I can treat myself to nails. I'm able to be a blessing not only to myself and my community, but also just giving to CBN. They're out there. They're in when it's a natural disaster, and when you give to CBN, you're there with them.
Even when Rhonda's healthcare services were curtailed at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, her income remained consistent.
God supernaturally implemented job in a job where I can go and do 101 temperature checks for the people that work at the airline. Had I not tithed, I would be at rock bottom. My tithing is the reason I'm standing here today, at peace with my career, at peace with my life. When you give, he can give his best. It's true, he wants you to have the best. Give him that opportunity by giving.